Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. I appreciate everybody who showed up for this little after Fajr halaqah and to go on with our Aqeedah classes, and we're going to discuss several points on why it's important, why one should study Aqeedah to go along with the Dars. And as we move forward, as we add extra little things to the class that complement the class and to broaden the perspective so that we can widen the understanding and grasp the concept of Aqeedah and its importance. So I could touch on it for a minute. I got a recording for the YouTube. It's cool to discuss it like right on here, and briefly. I could be brief about it. Okay. Matter of fact, it might benefit some people because I was just having this discussion. Okay, alhamdulillah. So one of the brothers who out of the three brothers who took their shahada, his girl took her shahada last night, and alhamdulillah, she took her shahada last night. So this is a major issue. Matter of fact, it's two things I'm gonna touch on, and I'm gonna be brief. So basically, she has some questions about weave extensions. It's part of the African American culture. The majority of African American women wear some form of extensions, weaves, wigs at some point, if not all the time. So she has some questions concerning it, and she's been getting conflicting answers. So I'm going to discuss it just in brief so that we can get to the Aqeedah thing. And, inshallah, bismillah ta'ala, it might help some other people who may watch these videos. Now, you're a new shahada. This may be some struggle. I'm going to give you the dalil from both sides. I will just touch generally. Me personally, in some circumstances where brothers or have brought like a family member of theirs to me, or somebody that was their ward, and for the simple fact that they wore weave or occasionally put extensions and stuff, or a wig, and or even the eyelashes. Keep in mind, the eyelashes is weave for the eyes. They did the eyelashes and all that, and I wouldn't marry him. I wouldn't marry him because of that. And so, alhamdulillah, I'm glad you asked this, because this is the beauty of it. In Sahih Bukhari, there's a whole chapter on weave. Matter of fact, one second, let me grab Sahih Bukhari real quick. Hold on. And I'm gonna give y'all some dalil, some important dalil, and then I'm gonna possibly pull up some on the internet, because I understand how people getting conflicting answers. I've been dealing with this for years. I know where some of the concepts come from due to different madhabs and their opinions and twisting up of hadith. I don't want to say twisting it up. One moment. Let me grab Sahih Bukhari. One moment. So in Sahih Bukhari, right, in book 77, this is volume 7, but in the 77th chapter, and it's really just this easy. So in the 77th chapter, you got the book of dress. One moment. It's the 77th chapter. One second, let me pause the YouTube because I don't want the time to keep running and it get long. 1 second, I'm going to pause it for the YouTube so I can find it right in this book real quick. I know where it's at, but I'm taking a little time. I don't want to waste up the YouTube video. 1 moment for the YouTube. Okay, so it's in book 77, the book of dress, but it's the 83rd chapter. And it's the chapter heading is the use of false hair. So let's touch a couple of these hadiths in brief. So one, it was narrated by Hunayd bin Abdul Rahman bin Auf that in the year he performed Hajj, he heard Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan, who was on the pulpit, basically the minbar, right? On the minbar, and he was taking out a tuft of hair, basically a wig, some weave, right, from his guards, saying, where are your learned men? Where are your scholars? Where are your people of knowledge? Because I heard Allah's messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, forbidding false hair, weave, extensions, wigs, right? Forbidding, saying that it's haram, it's prohibited, right? And saying the children of Israel were destroyed when their women started using false hair. This is eyelashes. Now, some people that went into certain rulings, so there's a ruling, not a ruling, there's a hadith that when the women, their daughters, they used to put ribbons in their hair. Now, when I was younger, I used to see around Easter time or like on Sundays when people went to church, I used to see the women put, like the little girls and stuff that I was around, they would have like bows, a red ribbon, a blue one, yellow, and they would tie their ponytails up and they would put the ribbon on it, right? I don't know if I don't really see it that much anymore because, like I said, a lot of the little girls, I see them with fake hair now. But back when people was wearing their real hair, they would put these ribbons and bows on it. So there's a hadith where they had the girls, it was a festival, and they had ribbons and bows in their hair. So some of the madhabs, it was referring to attaching these ribbons and bows and stuff to your hair. But this was during the time before hijab, and plus it was with small children. So they took that saying that was permissible. Some people took that ruling and saying, okay, we can attach stuff to our hair as long as it's not actual hair. So they was feeling like they could use yarn, right? Which yarn is made from wool. Wool is what? Sheep's hair. So it's still animal hair. So some people start trying to use acrylic, which was just tearing their hair out even more, but it's still imitates hair. So now it's falling into deception. So trying to find one loophole for another really was just making the situation worse, because now they're putting something in their hair that was tearing their hair out, and it looked worse. Unfortunately, I had the privilege of seeing some sisters in it, and it looked like mops, but they would be different color, red. I mean, it looked like a mop. And the way that they had to get it sewn in, so you would see, like, the skin would just look so bald. You know, like you wouldn't see no hair on their scalp. It just looked like scalp and a mop on their head. But now it's different colors. So how is this not tabarruj? Because now you beautifying yourself, and now you don't have nothing covering up, right? So now it's tabarruj. Okay? So it's just so you can see what's to it. So one, this is a prohibition, this haram. And then it shows that Bani Israel, the Jews, the Jewish women, this is one of the things where Allah started to destroy them, because they women started using false hair, wigs and all of this stuff, right? That's just one hadith. This is a whole chapter on false hair. So then the next one, this was narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has cursed the ladies who artificially lengthen their hair or someone else's hair. So they cursed the ones who put weave in other people's hair, and then they cursed the ones who get the weave put in their hair. So lengthening their hair, whether you using acrylic, whether you using wool, and we know that if it's going to look good, generally it's going to be someone else's human hair. Now, one thing that they don't tell people is sometimes that hair be pubic. The way that they blend it and wash it, I'm just saying, like the yaki hair. Go look at the yaki animal, the yak. It basically looked like a big buffalo with fur, and it'd be nasty because when it used the restroom on itself, that fur, when it used the restroom, all the feces be in that fur. But some of that hair be pubic. Alright? So just lengthen it, extending it in any type of way, Allah curses this type of woman. That's why me personally, I wouldn't deal with the woman, because you're going to bring the curse of Allah into our home. If Allah curses you and then I'm in a situation dealing with you, I'm going to have to deal with some of the effects of that curse. And one of the biggest problems and misconceptions that we belittle, we don't know what that curse is going to look like. We don't know what that curse is going to look like, right? So as it continues, right? So like I said, the one who puts the weave in and the one who gets the weave, and the one who get tattoos, the one who do tattoos, and the woman who gets tattoos. So Allah curses the women who put weave in people's hair and the women who get it. The people who do tattoos and the people who get them. So this right here letting you know this is a major sin, because there's a curse of Allah that comes with it. And we don't have any idea or clue what that curse look like. So continuing on, because this is the one that I want to touch on, right? To show y'all some of the rulings where certain people twist it due to certain things of fiqh, due to opinions of certain people. So this one right here, this one is narrated by Aisha. And may Allah be pleased with all of them and have mercy on them all, right? This is the Rasul wife. So she said, an Ansari girl was married and became sick, and all of her hair fell out. All of her hair fell out. Because I'm mentioning that due to rulings, because people talking about if you going bald, your hair won't come back, then wigs is permissible, and all these different things. Let's see what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about it, right? So all of her hair fall out. So her mom intended to provide her with false hair. But before she did it, she came and asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said to her, Allah has cursed the lady who artificially lengthens her hair or someone else's hair, and also the ones who get their hair lengthened. So even if all your hair fell out due to an illness, so like certain people, may Allah protect us all from it, who get cancer and they go through chemo and their hair fall out, they want to put a wig on, Allah still say that curse of Allah comes on you. Even if you get a sickness, you know what I'm saying, and all your hair fall out. Even if you feel like this was a lady who was married, Allah still said that, Allah's messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said that curse is still on that person. And it being that you the mother and you want to put it on your daughter's head, that curse is going to be up on you too. So, and then another one, right? So this was narrated by Asma, Aisha's sister, the daughter of Abu Bakr. A woman came to Allah's messengers and said, I married my daughter to someone, but she became sick and all her hair fell out. And because of that, her husband does not like her anymore. He doesn't think she's attractive anymore, right? May I let her use false hair? So now the husband don't think she cute. The husband don't like how she look because all her hair is gone. So the mom is still asking the Rasul, which you can see this has a little bit more detail. This is the narration from Aisha's sister. So she said, right, the Prophet cursed the lady who artificial lengthens her or someone else's hair and the one who gets it done. So it doesn't change it. It doesn't change it. Right? So this is another one. Another one who the curse is on, right? So this one is narrated. Alakama Abdullah curses the woman who practice tattooing and those who remove hair from their faces, who pluck their eyebrows or shave their eyebrows and get them redrawn on with pencils and all that stuff. Women get cursed for that also, right? And who pluck their hair from their faces and their eyebrows, right? And those who create spaces between their teeth to look beautiful, such as ladies after that have altered the features created by Allah, right? So he basically said, why should I not curse them when Allah's messenger cursed them, and referred to Allah's book? Because a woman came up to him and said, who are you to try to put this type of ruling on people, right? And then he said, this came from Rasulullah and it's in the book of Allah. She said, I done been through the whole entire book of Allah. I never seen that in there. So he gave her the Quran ayat and said, it could be found in the Quran where Allah Azza wa Jal is Surah 59 ayat number 7, and whatsoever the messenger gives you, take it, and whatever he forbids you, then abstain from it. So if Allah Azza wa Jal told his messenger and informed us, take what the messenger gives you and stay away from what he forbids. This is Quran ayat. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, don't do it, it's a curse, khalas. It's over with. There's no changing it, even if she's sick, even if this is what's going on. Hadith, Quran ayat. And it did, like I said, I'm just touching on it in brief. This is a whole chapter on false hair in Sahih Bukhari, but not only Sahih Bukhari, there's some in Muslim. So You could see certain rulings on the internet is wigs permissible. Some scholars, like I said, due to different hadiths, you got to look at the dalil that they use to say, they'll say certain things like, if the hair is completely coming out and never going to grow back, then a wig is permissible in those senses. But it goes against Quran and Sunnah. Why do it go against the Quran? Because of the ayat, take what Allah's messenger gives you, do what he tells you to do, and stay away from what he tells you to stay away from. Then there's authentic hadiths from him, not only narrated by his wife, but his sister-in-law, right, who was there for these conversations, Abu Hurairah. It was narrated by people, plenty of companions, so there's ijma', there's consensus with the people that he taught from the Sahaba, male and female, that this is something that Allah cursed come up on the people. So sometime in fiqh, because Imam Shafi'i, when he stayed in Syria and then he moved to Egypt, he changed his whole entire madhab due to the culture difference. So some things you can adjust when it comes to cultural things, but when it's something that goes against Quran, Sunnah, and Ijma', you can't change that. So some of the things, you have some scholars who say due to what the majority of the people do as far as culture. So we know in America, wearing weave, unfortunately, is part of black culture. It's part of the culture of the women. It's a cultural norm. So due to it's a cultural norm, to make it easy on the people, then under extremely special circumstances, like if she went to chemo and something happened where she's completely bald, to wear a wig if it bothers her husband. To make it easy on her, we're going to make that ruling, but we're not going to take away the fact, they still curse by Allah. Because some of them go by, this is a sin that Allah will forgive them for, but it doesn't take away the fact that they curse by Allah by it. So even if they making tawbah and different things, because these rulings is clear. There was a woman during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The lady came to the Rasul specifically asking, can I put some weave on my daughter's head? She got sick. Her hair fell out. Her husband doesn't like how she look anymore. And see, to keep it 100, because it ain't a lot of detail in there, sometimes the husband don't generally have a problem anymore, but the woman may feel like he don't think I'm attractive anymore. So they could have put that on there, but regardless of the circumstances, whether he didn't like it or what, it didn't change the fact that Allah cursed the woman. If you put that on her hair, Allah not only gonna curse her for having it, Allah's gonna curse you for putting weave, wigs, fake, anything that imitates hair on her head. Y'all gonna be cursed by Allah. And like I said, unfortunately, you don't know what that curse look like. Now, with us in America, this is the problem for the man. When they have a woman who wears that weave out in public, who doesn't wear a hijab, now she's putting you in a position where you are a dayuth. And once you become a dayuth, now you putting yourself in a position that you're going to have to deal with Allah Azza wa Jal on a certain type of level. And like I said, with some of these sisters that was brought to me, and I'm not necessarily around them in their city all the time. So they have certain reasons. Well, I don't wear weave all the time. I just wear it occasionally. I do this and that. Along the lines of, I'll never wear it around you, like you will never see it. That's not going to remove the curse of Allah from you. And then whatever's going on with you, while Allah is cursing you, I'm going to have to deal with that. whatever hardships befall you might befall me even worse, because I might have to be the one that had to maintain you. So I might have to carry the weight and the burden of whatever Allah put on you. I might have to carry it on your back, to where now this marriage is a hardship and there's really nothing in it for me other than the barakats that I could possibly get for being your husband. But it's an extreme hardship, because we don't know what that curse looked like. So those things you had to keep in mind. You could be putting your husband in a position where he's a dayuth. So now both of y'all in the wrong position with Allah Azza wa Jal. And due to the fact that it's a common thing, we don't care about our wives running around. If you're going to put it on and then put a hijab on it, and then at least you sparing the position you putting your husband in with Allah Azza wa Jal. So those just some of the facts. You could do a little deeper dive, but like I say, Quran, Sunnah, Ijma first. So anything else that come after that, then so if it's a fiqh ruling, you gotta look at why they said that, because like I said, the hadith made it clear, if she gets sick due to any illness and all her hair falls out, even if her husband doesn't like it, or even if her husband doesn't like her, they still cursed by Allah. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. So like I said, I understand why some of the rulings is out there, but I still haven't seen any dalil from Quran, Sunnah, and Ijma for those rulings. I just seen them go by other things that other scholars said from their opinion. You know what I'm saying? But nothing attached to Quran, Sunnah, and Ijma. Because Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, 100% haram, and Allah curses the woman who does it. Allah curses the woman who gets the weave and the one who puts it in her hair. Especially if they throwing on eyelashes as well, because now it's a double bubble. And then on top of that, if they going and getting their eyebrows plucked or thinned and lined up, and then on top of that, like some women who have an eyebrow that connect and they shave that little bit, that's the same thing. So now you falling up under some more of it. All these things is curses from Allah Azza wa Jal. And then you put your husband in a position where he's so used to it culturally, he don't have, it's like, okay, cool. It ain't no, hey, you know what I'm saying? You ain't leaving the house, you ain't leaving this house like that. I don't care this and that. And see, unfortunately, this is the last thing I'm going to speak on. There's hadiths that refer to masculine women, effeminate men, where they not even all the way, we not talking about just flat out gay, but they're a little bit effeminate. And then masculine women, not that's all the way gay, they just masculine women, right? They also bring a curse from Allah. So like some of these women who do this, especially the African American women, I'm walking around in my masculine energy. So a lot of these women, they really think that their husbands, not a lot, but it's starting to become a trend where black men are beneath black women. So some of these women who walking around in what they think is masculine energy, they had this concept of Nigga, I don't need you. You need me. You not finna tell me how I can walk out of this house. If they don't care that Allah say it's a problem, if they not gonna listen to Allah, what they gonna listen to you for? And then you putting yourself in a position where her masculinity is making you effeminate. And now you sitting around being a dayuth. You ain't finna tell me how I'm gonna leave this house. If I want to wear weave all down my back, if I want to put some weave on and then cover it up, whether it's a protective style, like I hear a lot of women say that, I want to protect my new growth and all this other stuff, cool. You know what I'm saying? One thing about me, I can't do it. You take that masculine energy and them curses from Allah on somewhere. Because I'm gonna choose Allah as a wajel. Because what is with Allah is better. So individuals just have to be careful. And I got to throw that in because if you really love your husband and you care, don't put him in a position where he gonna be a dayuth. You know what I'm saying? And if you hijabbed and you covered up anyway, what does all that matter? And that's why I say a lot of the sisters that I know that don't cover up, they fall into those things because they still want to look cute. You know what I'm saying? They still want to look cute. Or they fall into certain things from the shaitan. Matter of fact, I'm not going to repeat that because I personally know some people who say that. And some of them may watch these videos and I don't want them to feel like I'm shooting a shot at them. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes the shaitan just put people in all type of, give them excuses to not cover up. And then when they don't cover up, they fall into even more of shaitan's trap. Because now they weaved out, now they got eyelashes. They being deceptive, fake nails. And like I say, with the making the gap in their teeth, because this was something that was attractive. So putting gaps in their teeth. Now you altering the way that Allah created you, but now they going as far as getting butts, breast, just a plethora of different cosmetic surgeries, So that's Quran, Sunnah, and Ijma. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who start to give you a different thing, the opinion of a scholar is not dalil. So when you go to people and they say this scholar said, this such and such said, the Hanafi madhab, the Maliki madhab, the Hanbali madhab, the Shafi'i madhab said. But it's clear. Allah said in the Quran, if the Rasul tell you to do something, do it. If the Rasul tell you to stay away from something, stay away from it. The Rasul Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made it clear under all circumstances that woman is cursed by Allah. The one who put the weave in her hair is cursed by Allah. So even if it's your profession where you putting weave in other women's hair to make money, you still cursed by Allah. You still cursed by Allah. That money is just like dope dealer money. That's haram money. So that's just in brief. You know what I'm saying? And don't get mad at me because this isn't my deen. This isn't my opinion. These isn't my words. I didn't like weave. Well, I became Muslim at 13, but before I even knew it was haram, I never liked it. You know what I'm saying? I never liked it. Okay? So, let's get to these points, man, real quick. And, again, my apologies. I know sometimes my voice, I'm not trying to come off harsh. Okay. Alhamdulillah. So, just keep your du'as up and ask Allah to make it easy for you to walk away from it and some clarity, because y'all both just became Muslim. He only got a week and some change ahead of you of becoming Muslim. So shaitan is going to turn it up a notch. Ramadan is coming. Y'all want to be on a different plateau by the time Ramadan reach. So ask Allah to make it easy for you, and then you got to have a serious conversation with yourself and say, why am I really doing it? What's really to this? Who am I really trying to impress? And I guarantee you, if you want to impress Allah Azza wa Jal first, you'll leave it alone. Now, like I said, I don't know what you look like, and hopefully it's not like, as far as your hair and all of that. I know that some women, due to them not leaving weave alone, they got patches out their head. They look like George Jefferson, all this top gone. So now they forced to wear weave. You know what I'm saying? Or wigs, because they done tore their hair up. Playing with that curse of Allah. So I don't know the situation. But get you some botana oils. Look into some different things, man, and just get it together and have sabr with it and choose Allah, because what with Allah is better. And don't have that, my dude beneath me. Who is you to tell me, want to have that last word, that little bit of back talk? This stuff is ugly to Allah. You know what I'm saying? And I, don't let her masculine energy make yours feminine. You got to reverse that. See, our masculine energy make them feminine, B. Don't let their masculine energy make you feminine, because they may have some things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gonna have to put your foot down and be like, man, this is here. You need a vacation, but you need, you know what I'm saying? We need to put this marriage on pause. Little it-dats and different things. You know what I'm saying? You might have to get a little month vacation. You know what I'm saying? So we could think about this. So not encouraging it, but don't be letting their masculine energy make you. And though that's a word, I'm gonna just say their masculine energy is making us softer up on the position when it should be in reverse. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the curse, because just look at what all these masculine women and these men softening up on it, because these women may appear to have it going on. They may go to school. They may have good jobs. They may have good credit and all this other type of stuff. So that's supposed to mean to me, I'm supposed to sit down and let you disobey Allah and like it because you got it going on in the dunya? Who I look like? You know what I'm saying? Who I look like? You're not finna bring that curse around up on me. And then some people have to bow down. It may be her apartment. This my apartment. Section 8 gave me this house. Fool, you live with me. So cats be bowing down when, man, they bow down to that masculine energy. So anyway, let me get on these points real quick. And may Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy for both of y'all, and allow y'all to rectify that affair. And Dalil, Quran, Sunnah, Ijma first. There's not a whole chapter on false hair in Sahih Bukhari for no reason. And those is authentic. And it's in Sahih Muslim, so these is the big joker. And it's in other hadith. So anyway, why should one study Aqeedah and Islamic creed? And what is the benefits? So one, it teaches one the most important pillar of Islam and Iman, the Shahada and Ikhlas, sincerity upon it, and how to make our worship sincere for Allah alone. And just like in the questions in that test about the Muslims falling into picking and choosing what part of the religion they're going to follow and what part they're not going to follow. When you doing it sincerely for Allah alone, you're not going to do this picking and choosing thing, right? So also, Aqeedah is the first thing that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started teaching his companions. And the first thing he ordered the companions to invite people to. So the dawah is supposed to start with Aqeedah. Okay? And Aqeedah is first branch Tawheed. So it's not just Tawheed alone. So the dawah is supposed to start with Aqeedah. Right? So he ordered them, when you start to give dawah, start with Aqeedah. Right? When inviting to Islam. Also, to gain inner peace and tranquility and assurance that our Creator provided guidance for us about how to believe in Him. Not only how to believe in Him, but how to worship Allah Azza wa Jal al-Muqtadi. This is what studying, not just reading about, not just having conversations about the 6 articles of Aqeedah, studying all Aqeedah in totality brings you to this inner peace and tranquility and assurance that the guidance you up on came from the Creator, that you're not up on a false desire, what shaitan aroused in people, a false desire, and then you following your desire and calling it the Sunnah. You know, we don't want to be that I'm up on Quran and Sunnah, but we don't even know how to pull nothing from the Quran, and we don't even know nothing. We don't even study no hadiths to even know if we actually on the Sunnah. It's just lip service. It sound good, but see, Allah gonna know. So like I said, studying the correct Aqeedah so that you can bring it into implementation to where your belief in Allah is correct and your worship of Allah Azza wa Jal is correct. So also, to fill one's heart, mind, soul, and body with the proper tools and belief to be able to distinguish from correct beliefs and incorrect beliefs. Some people can't tell the difference. And as we go through these, and as we continue these lessons, you're going to start to be able to see some of the incorrect beliefs clearly, and you're going to see a lot of people have them. And unfortunately, some of these incorrect beliefs is tied to a race. This is how the Indo-Pakis do it. This is how the Arabs do it. This is how the blacks do it. And they don't want to let it go because it's tied to their race, but it's incorrect beliefs. So also, studying the correct Aqeedah allow us to remain connected to the Book of Allah, the authentic Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Sirah, the biography, the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because there's numerous rulings and different things that you could get from the Rasul life, and the companions, the Sahaba, and the righteous predecessors from the past. It's going to keep you connected to this whole group, this whole ummah, because these was the best generations of Islam, not the most perfect generation, because you had bid'ah, you had different things, because like just listen to the concept of what we discussing. There was women and Muslims trying to wear weave during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, so these issues had to be dealt with. So when the Rasul had passed, just look at when the first hadith I started off with, when he come to make Hajj, he's seeing all these Muslim women running around with wigs and weave on. But what he did, he addressed it. And what was the first thing he did? He called out the people of knowledge. Where the learned men at? Where the scholars of Medina? This was in Medina. Where the scholars at? What is y'all doing? The people before us who we're told not to imitate, they was destroyed once they women started wearing false hair. Look at us. Look at us. Look at our relationships. Look at our families. Just look at us in America. And I guarantee you're going to see A lot of masculine women, their energy is masculine. A lot of the brothers' energy is effeminate, based off of effeminate that they soften up to the masculine energy of these women. But then these women be crying out, "You not masculine enough for me to turn effeminate." Which letting you know they recognize masculine energy softens up the counterpart of it. So they force all their masculine energy on you because they got you in some type of bow down position. I got more going on than you. This my apartment. Section 8 gave me this. You soft, B. You know what I'm saying? If the shoe was on the other foot, if you treated me like I treat you, I would leave you alone. Or the only reason why I would stay, because I need you and what you got going on. You feed me. I live with you. But I would have a plan to get myself together. You soft. You acting like a woman because I'm acting like a man. You better know your place. So, like I said, these things help you to stay connected. Studying the correct Aqeedah allows you to remain connected. You're always connected to the Book of Allah, the authentic Sunnah. So this is Quran and Hadith, the Sirah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the biography of the Rasul and the companions and the righteous predecessors. So companions, righteous predecessors, we cloak that under Ijma. So right here, Quran, Sunnah, Ijma. Studying the correct Aqeedah keeps you connected to that. So also, studying the proper Aqeedah leads to unity within the Muslim Ummah. Not knowing or studying the proper Aqeedah leads to separation, dissension, and sectarianism. What do we have? Because we have individuals who think Aqeedah is a false concept because that's Wahhabi stuff, so they call it separation. Then you have people who know how to use the term Aqeedah, know how to use particular terms, Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, but they ain't studied it. So they fight and separate from other things, other groups of Muslims in cases where they shouldn't. Because these might be Muslims who also study the correct Aqeedah, who also go to Quran, Sunnah, and Ijma without using the terminology, but they really study and implement it. And then the ones who don't but just use the terminology, they attack them, but they won't attack real people that's on bid'ah. Okay? This is because they're not studying Aqeedah properly. It's lip service. So also, purifying our beliefs from doubts, misconceptions, innovations, and foreign belief, actions, statements that have no basis in Islam. Deviations, where you put yourself in a position. That's why you hear two different terms. You're an innovator or you a deviant. Some people have deviated, some people have innovated. So also studying Aqeedah, Islamic creed, it helps you in gaining knowledge of Allah. Gaining knowledge of Allah, it will increase our love for Allah and our humility and awareness of Allah. So learning the proper Aqeedah will save one from many of the trials and tribulations that occur in life, and teach us how to understand them and deal with them. Subhanallah Adhim. So being able to enlighten others about the correct Aqeedah and point out some of the foreign and incorrect beliefs that have no basis in Islam. This is what studying the correct Aqeedah does. You will be able to see the deviant and incorrect beliefs and bid'ah and different things that just have absolutely no basis in Islam. And it removes ignorance from ourselves and others. Okay? So we're going to close out on that because we close to an hour. And then when we come back with the class, with the lessons from the book, then we're going to touch what are some of the ill effects of not learning or studying the correct Aqeedah. And I'm going to touch 2 points. We're going to close out on 2 points of what are some of the ill effects of not learning or studying Aqeedah, the correct Aqeedah. One, it leads to a miserable life. Now, miserable life doesn't mean that you have things. You have celebrities who have millions and millions and millions of dollars, male and female. They have millions of dollars, they have fame, they have status, they got big homes, they got cars, they travel, they do vacations, but they miserable. Some of them commit suicide. You know, some of them they had to take a lot of drugs and alcohol just to try to bring themselves in function and not have to sit around and think about how miserable they are. So having things have nothing to do with whether you're miserable or not. And not understanding Aqeedah, where you implementing it, you can have a lot of things in your life be miserable. Then you could be an individual who has nothing, like me. Me, I'm telling you, my home is a masjid. I don't have no fancy furniture. I don't even have no furniture. Right? I had the cushions on the floor. I ain't got the big TVs and none of that. I ain't got the fancy car. Like I said, I be pushing a hoopty. You know what I'm saying? I got books, B. You know what I'm saying? And I be so happy, man. I ain't gonna go into that. So, a miserable life, a life filled with worries, just always worrying. You know, always having forms of anxiety, uneasiness, and then confusion, while rarely experiencing inner peace. Sometimes to feel inner peace, people have to go buy things, or they have to brag about useless accomplishments to feel better. Like they gotta constantly remind themselves about the job they have. You know, to have some type of feeling of inner peace, they have to speak on other things where they want other people to view them in some type of way that they don't, you know what I'm saying? So they can feel like they have some sense of inner peace. Or they have to turn to alcohol, pills, intoxicants. Intoxicants. Right? So, and they rarely feel that tranquility and calmness in one's heart, mind, soul, and body. That sakina doesn't come down. That khushu isn't coming down. So they also, if is a lot of selfishness and only thinking about their own self. They'll disobey Allah Azza wa Jal blatantly. Like and you know, won't even think about their spouse. Not gonna think about whether you making your husband a dayuth or not. Don't even care. Won't even think about the position that you putting your wife in while you moving in certain manners. Like you don't even care. I'm putting up with this stuff because you a means to an end. You on the other side of this rainbow that is you is material and dunya. You know what I'm saying? So let me close on a hadith, man, and it's one that I live by. Right? It's one that I live by. Allah Azza wa Jal sent Angel Jibreel and the angels to destroy a city because the city had become so corrupt where everybody was just disobeying Allah. Kind of like our societies. You got murdering, you got killing, you got raping, you got robbery, plundering, you got corrupt police just killing people because of the color of their skin. When they pulled them over illegally anyway, wasn't even never supposed to be pulling them over. You got people from different fraternities and different orders thinking that they control society and people, but they just want to corrupt everybody, right? So this is the society that they was in. A bunch of intoxicants, the women masculine, the men feminine, women just cursed by Allah, they clothed but naked, or naked in their clothes, weaves, men running around, it showing their nudities as well. So, and nobody just properly worshiping the Creator. So Allah said, destroy the town. Now the angel said, but it's one person out of this whole entire city, is one person that's righteous. He don't disobey your commandments. Now look at the figure of this. He don't disobey your commandments. He don't do what he never go against what you say to do, and he do everything that the religion calls for. Allah Azza wa Jal said, I want y'all to destroy him first. I want the punishment to jump off with him first. Why is that though? Because he see all the wrongdoing and the evil that's going on in society, and he don't say nothing about it. He don't try to correct the people. He don't call the people to what's correct. He just have a whole thing like, hey, I'm good. That ain't none of my business. My deen is my deen. I'm straight. But they all from the same religion. Hey, that's on them. I know I'm right with Allah. But that's what's that though. It's a blatant going against what Allah says, because us Muslims, we supposed to enjoin the good and forbid the evil. And it was so much so to the point where he didn't even feel nothing in his heart about it. I don't even care what they doing. It don't even matter to me. I don't even want to hear nobody else say something about what they doing and explaining why they said something to the other people. So the punishment started with him. But see, we don't know what that punishment or destroying them looked like. And it started with that person. That's a powerful hadith. The punishment and the destruction is going to start with him. Now you got to keep in mind the flip side. You had Lot, just depending on how people pronounce it. He was in the same predicament. Right? But being that he used to say something and used to speak to power, when the punishment came down for that city, he was spared. The punishment didn't start with him. You understand? So the destruction didn't start with him. So this is the difference in the two situations. So I'm going to close on that, man. It's been an hour. Once again, man, I love y'all, man. Y'all keep, for the new shahadas, especially, with the brother who, your girl done came in. We're going to try to work on some things to get y'all nikah done in y'all city. Or we gonna figure out something. We gonna figure out something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep y'all du'as up. Learn y'all some du'as and keep up with your studies, man. Even if it ain't with me, because there's more subjects out there and there's people who teach it way better, and they don't still talk like they on a block like I do intentionally, because sometimes big words and talking a certain type of way get boring, and to certain people who used to toxicity. You know what I'm saying? People who addicted to pop don't like water. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to give them some water that's flavored like pop. You understand? So anyway, y'all keep striving, man, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy for y'all. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.